Hello. Today I want to tell you about one of my photo adventures that I had recently with my son and his dog Pippin. We decided to go out to a place that I have been taking pictures of birds, and I found that in order to get some better pictures of birds, I needed someone to drive me so that I wouldn't have to stop first before I could take the pictures, because I try to get pictures of animals in action, especially birds in action. And so my son happens to have this fantastic truck that has a sunroof in it. And so I got in between the seats and up out of the sunroof, and it worked fantastically for getting some great pictures of birds flying in the air. After a while, we got a little bit tired. We needed to take a break, and the dog needed to get out and run. So we stopped at this beautiful place that has water on both sides, actually all sides. And so it was a perfect place to practice taking pictures of birds. There were many birds that I was able to take pictures of and practice, and my goal shot for the day was to get a good flying shot of a killdeer. And there were several killdeer there that were going all over the place. And so I was able to get my goal shot of the killdeer that day. And there were also cormorants, and there were avocets, and there were black-necked stilts, and there were pelicans. My favorite thing to practice taking pictures of is swallows. And swallows are crazy because they go all over the place in the air trying to catch their food with their mouths, and it takes quite the aerobatic feats for them to be able to do so. And they constantly do that pretty much all day long. And so they're a great thing to practice for a sports wildlife photographer. And I was practicing on the swallows when I looked up and saw a common tern, and it was fluttering in the air, getting ready to dive. And so I locked on it with my camera, and as it was diving, I got two great pictures with the pampas grass in the background, and it looks like he's going to dive right into the ground, but I couldn't see it, but there was actually water below him, and he dove into the water and came back out with a fish and was successful in getting him some food, and I was successful in getting a fantastic picture for my website, and it's called Dive Right In, and that is the photo of the week is Dive Right In. It's my first photo of the week because I just started my website for selling fine art prints of my photography. I've been taking pictures of wildlife and scenic pictures since I was 16 years old with my dad's Nikon F camera, and I have loved it ever since. And this is my dream, is to be able to sell pictures and to share them with everyone. And the Dive Right In theme brings me right to a funny story I have of me and my brother when we were young. We lived in a little town in Idaho called St. Anthony. And one day, my crazy brother decided that he was going to play a trick and do something very crazy. And so we went, got a couple of his friends, because he needed to have some backup rescue people in case it didn't work. And I talked to him last night about this exact story, and he told me all the specifics, and it's very funny. So two of his friends, Steve Welker and Tom Quayle, came with us, and they were down on a pipe that crosses the Henry's Fork of the Snake River in St. Anthony. In case he did not come back up, they would dive in and try to save him. So he got up on the bridge, and I was on the bridge. He waited until there were a bunch of cars coming, and he acted as though he was falling off the bridge. And so right as these cars were coming, he acted like he was falling off the bridge, and instead he dove, and all the people who were crossing right then slammed on their brakes and were freaked out that somebody was diving or falling off the bridge. And that was the idea, was for him to make a big deal of it. I was up there telling people, hey, no, he just dove off, he's okay, go ahead. And the problem was, I don't think he was okay, because I looked down and there was only a little spot that he could have dove in and been safe, because there was rocks on both sides, there's a swift current, and there's undertows, and he still wasn't coming back up. And it was about a 50-foot dive, and his friends were starting to worry about him. I could see little bubbles coming up out of the river, and he told me that when he dived, he went down under, and he could not tell which way was up, which way was down, which way was right, which way was left. And so he blew bubbles, and he thought, well, if I blow bubbles, they'll go towards the surface, right? So I'll follow the bubbles up. He said that he was in for close to 2 minutes, and he did finally come back out to my wonderful eyes and found out that he was fine, and he nonchalantly swam back to shore, and his friends joined him and I joined him, and he of course said, okay, it's your guys' turn. And we're like, yeah, no, we're not going to dive in right there. You are crazy. And my brother said, yeah, it's no fun to do dares if you couldn't die, right? I'm like, yeah, okay. So anyway, he is definitely a great brother. He's got a whole book of his adventures of when he was young and the crazy things he did, and it will be available hopefully soon for sale. And my website is brettjorgensenphotography.com. There should be a link below for you to check that, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.